ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्यचल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्रीगौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वान्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते। गौराविर्भाव भूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जना प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं दाख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्ते। जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गुर्मम मन्देर्मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बुजौ श्रीराधा मदनमोहनो। दिव्यवृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधः शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानुस्मरामि। श्रीमान् राससारम्भेवं श्रीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपैर्गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। लक्ष्मीपति लक्ष्मीनाथ समारंभा नाथयामुना मध्यवान् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मा व्यामोहतस्तदितिराणि तृणाय मेने। अस्मद्गुरो भगवतोऽस्य दयेकसिन्धो रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we are doing Ramanuja episode. It's only Srila Prabhupada who gives us the knowledge and who teaches us the importance of the acharyas. So as we had discussed in the beginning, in the last class, that how Natha Munigal, who became instrumental in bringing 4,000 Divya Prabandham to this earthly planet. Again, restoring the same Divya Prabandham which was given by the Alvars, 12 Alvars, who wrote the glorification of Lord, who are there in Divyadesham. Divyadesham, there are 106 Divyadesham and 2 Divyadesham Parampada in Vaikuntha. So Alvars, they have written wonderful poems or wonderful verses in glories of the Perumal in Divyadesham. Perumal means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The most important Alvar, every Alvar is important, but the the head of all the Alvar is Namma Alvar, because Lord gives his knowledge to Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi gives that knowledge to Namma Alvar, who is Vishwakshena. So he became instrumental in bringing this knowledge to the earthly planet. So Namma Alvar, as we discussed last time, he was just 12 days baby, crawled and sat in the pit, never spoke anything to anyone. When Madhurakavi Alvar came, that is the time he actually opened his eyes also. That time he was a grown-up boy, never ate anything, never drank anything, just sat under a tree. Vishwakshena himself. Now Namma Alvar, he has written 1,000 verses glorifying Lord. 1,000 verses in Tiruvayamozhi. But what happened in the due course of time, everything was lost. Nath Munigal was actually searching for these verses once it so happened in Veer Narayanpuram. There were few devotees who had come from Tirunelveli, from Tiruchinapalli. Few devotees had come and they were singing some few padas. And immediately it struck to Nath Munigal that yes, these are the verses from Tiruvayamozhi actually. And these are the verses from 4,000 Divya Prabandham. So he asked them to sing again, sing more verses, because we don't know. We only have these when he went to the austerities. It all we discussed last time, how Namma Alvar bestowed the mercy, and Nath Munigal not only got the rest of the Tiruvayamozhi, he got even all the remaining 3,000 Divya Prabandham. And Nath Muni knew that a great spiritual preceptor is going to be born in their family, is going to be born as his own grandson. That is why he dedicated this task to one of the great disciples. His name is Pundarikaksha, Uyakandar, also known as Pundarikaksha. We saw last time that how Nath Munigal, he was having that separation, intense separation from Krishna, and he left his body. So much that even in his yogic penances, he could see the two personalities, Radha Krishna, coming. In south, the same Radharani is known as Pirati, Mahalakshmi. So he could see, oh, Pirati has come, Perumal has come, Pirati has come. And in this way, he was maddened with the love of Krishna. And in that separation, he left his body. But before that, he had given the task of giving the name Yamunatya Turaivan to his own grandson. That's how Ramanujacharaya happens, this name Ramanujacharaya comes. Because when they had gone, Nath Munigal had gone for a pilgrimage to Vrindavan along with his father, son, and many of his family members, they were absorbed in Krishna consciousness to such an extent they did not want to leave Vrindavan. They just wanted to stay in Vrindavan. At that time, Lord appears from Veer Narayanpuram. The dream comes to him. Mannar Koil Perumal, Adinath Perumal. He says, hey, you're dedicated to me, come here. Not to reside in Vrindavan. Then they went to Puri. There also the thought came, we should be in Puri. Then the thought came, we should be in Tirumalai. But everywhere Lord appeared in the dream and said, no way, you are committed here, you have to be here. That is how every deity demands our commitment. If we are committed to a particular deity, we are committed. The Lord will not allow us to go anywhere. And it is good for our spiritual progress. Just imagine Nath Munigal, who saw Namma Alvar, learned from Namma Alvar, and wanted to stay with Namma Alvar in Alvar Tirunagarai. There also Lord appeared in the dream and demanded, no way, come back to Veer Narayanpuram. Everybody likes to stay in holy places, isn't it? Sometimes we don't understand that Lord has appeared for us in our own place. So we think that in the holy places we'll get Lord. But what about the Lord who is expecting services from us? So Lord is expecting services from us. That is how he binds us. And the more we are bound to Krishna, understand we can be unbound in this material world. It is the easiest way to be unbound from this material world. So we saw that how Natha Munigar, he was also called back. He said, no, come back. Lord told, come back, enough now. Now come here and serve here. So he was serving very nicely the deities in Manar Koil, Manar Koil. He was serving the deities very nicely. He used to do Pushpa Kainkeriam. Pushpa Kainkeriam means making flowers for Krishna. Actually, that is the most beautiful seva, cooking for Krishna, making flowers for Krishna. They are all such a wonderful services which Krishna loves also, and that is a nice services which we can give to Krishna. So it is Rajagopal Perumal, not Adinath Perumal, Rajagopal Perumal. So Rajagopal Perumal from Kattumannar Koil was demanding that he should come back to the Narayanpuram and do his services. So he used to serve, he used to have the association of the Vaishnavas, and he used to preach to as many as possible. So in this way he was preaching, and he had wonderful disciples, out of whom Goyakandar, that is Pundarikaksha, was the most dedicated one. He gave the task of giving this highest knowledge or the most important secret knowledge to his grandson, and see to that when the child is born, the child's name should be Yamunai Katuraivan. It should start from Yamuna. Now it so happened once when Nath Muni was having all the disciples, Pundarikaksha is also there. Once Nath Muni's father-in-law, Achi, his name is Achi, he wrote a message to Nath Muni, please send my daughter for some days. Please send my daughter. So then how to send her alone? So Nath Muni requested Pundarikaksha. He said, why are you requesting? I will take my mother. So he used to consider Guru's wife is always like a mother. So Landalamma, her name was Landalam. He took her along with her. And then they reached Achi's house. There Achi, he was a very renowned Brahmana, very great scholar and renowned Brahmana. He treated the daughter very nicely, called her, everything. But he was not treating Pundarikaksha nicely. He was not treating him nicely. In fact, they used to give stale food to him, old food to him. And Pundarikaksha very happily was taking the old food. He did not grumble at all. Why they are giving me stale food? Nothing. He was very happy in taking whatever is coming from their hands. Now they came back. When they came back, Nath Munigal asked, what exactly happened? Can you please tell me, narrate me what all happened? He said, nothing. I got a wonderful, I went there. I was treated very nicely. Nath Munigal is so much blessed. He knew that he has not treated nicely. He said, tell truth. Tell truth. How can you say you were treated nicely? Tell me properly. Did they ill-treat you? He said, nothing. They just gave me some food. Okay, yesterday's food, what is there? Then he told a verse where he says, if but their broken bread the saints will grant, indeed I shall my nature purify. If the saints are giving stale food also, that is going to purify my nature. So I accepted that stale food. That stale food is actually Maha Prasad of the great people and saintly people. Even if they give this, I'm very happy to take it. I'm very happy to take all these things because it is purifying me. On hearing this, Nathamani saw that how tolerant is my student, Pundarikaksha, Vivekananda, that even if he is treated so badly, he says that it is a blessing. And he says, actually, you are my savior. He says to Pundarikaksha, you are my savior. I am giving you the task of saving these highest principles of religion by imparting this knowledge to my grandson, who is going to be born to Ishwar Muni, who is my son. So we know how Nath Muni left his body. After that, Raksha was so upset. But still, he knows that he has to fulfill the task which has been given to him by his guru, Nath Munigal. It is said he was preaching very nicely. Pundarikaksha was preaching very nicely. Also, in one side, he was actually in one side of the consciousness. He was thinking when the child will be born, when I am going to deliver this highest truth to the child. So, in one corner of his consciousness, this is also there. At the same time, he is giving this knowledge to many of the people, because now the holy Divya Prabandham is put into beautiful rhythm by Nathamuni, and which was taught to Pundarikaksha, and Pundarikaksha is giving this highest knowledge to as many people as possible. In that, he made many disciples. Manakala Nambi, one of the most important disciples. Manakala Nambi, who is also known as Rama Mishra. His most important disciple is Manakala Nambi. And like that, there were other few confidential devotees also. Thiruvallikkanni, Arayar, Pundarikaksha, Dasan, like this. Then you have Voyaga Perumal, Nangai, like that, many disciples. Among them, Manakala Nambi, that is Rama Mishra, was very dear means he was practically so surrendered to his guru, Pundarikaksha. So happened, Pundarikaksha's wife. It was not Andalamma, is not Nathamuni's wife, it is Pundarikaksha's wife. And his name was confusing. So it so happened that Andalamma, that is Pundarikaksha's wife, suddenly left the body. That means when mother is not there, what will happen? Two daughters are there, all small daughters. The house is without mother. What happens to the house? The house becomes barren. But Rama Mishra used to do all menial tasks like washing the utensils, taking care of the children. Daughters means they have to be tied, their hairs to be tied, everything, all menial tasks Rama Mishra used to do. So much seva to his guru, Pundarikaksha. Once it so happened that the children had to be taken. On some occasion, they had to be taken somewhere in a pilgrimage. So Pundarikaksha told Rama Mishra, can you accompany my two daughters? Yes, why not? He became like he took the place of Andalamma, like a mother. He took these two daughters. At that time, they had to cross a bank. And it was all like water was there, how the children will cross, these two small daughters, how they will cross. So what he did was, it was a bund. You know the bund, water comes. What he did was, he just lied on that bund. Ulta, upside down. He told that small children, you walk on my back and cross this water, come out of this water. So in this way, he lied down, and the children, they walked on his back, and in this way they crossed. So such was the dedication of Rama Mishra. When Pundarikaksha came to know this, he just hugged Rama Mishra. He said, what a dedication you have. Because generally, when somebody walks on the back, it pains. It pains like anything. Now, two children walking on the back. Vivekananda, that is Pundarikaksha, was so overwhelmed, that he hugged his disciple. And gave him Dvai Mantra, which his teacher Nathamuni taught to him. He gave him Dvai Mantra and he taught him the highest truth. Everything is not taught so easily. There are certain things which is kept as a secret with the teachers. They give it only when they see the dedication. One is general instruction. One is confidential instructions. These confidential instructions are not given for everyone. Like you get mantra updesh. When the mantra updesh is there, it is not given in public. It is given only to selected few who are chosen. So in this way, mantra updesh was there. Rama Mishra was given the highest truth. Now it so happened, Uyakandar, he was also like age is approaching and he left the body. When he left the body, before leaving the body, he gave this task to Rama Mishra. He was sitting in Padmasana, Uyakandar, and just absorbed. And he gave this highest knowledge to Rama Mishra and told that Ishwar Muni's son is going to be born. You give this name, especially my teacher, Nathamuni has given me this task, but somehow I'm not able to fulfill. But you can fulfill this I can fulfill this through you. So you give this knowledge, this highest knowledge, whatever I have taught to you. He has taught everything. Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, everything to Rama Mishra. And told, give this knowledge to the son of Ishwar Muni and keep his name as Yamunaita Puraivan. So Rameshra, actually after the Guru departed, he just started crying. Somebody asked Prabhupada, what we should do when our Guru leaves us? Prabhupada said, cry like how the queens will cry for the king. Cry like that. So that much cry should be there when the Guru leaves the body. So they said, Ramanujacharaya could not tolerate the separation of Rikaksha. Just crying. But what to do? The task has been given. Today also we can see this cry in the eyes of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Especially when you go to Vrindavan, you should see their eyes. Those devotees who were directly initiated by Srila Prabhupada, they miss him. They miss him. At the same time, Prabhupada is always with them in the form of instructions. But when the Guru is present physically, so much of interaction happens. When the Guru leaves the world, at that time, that missing is there. And at that time, how to cry, even Prabhupada has taught that also. Just see how wonderful is Srila Prabhupada. He has taught us everything, the importance of Guru. He says, without Guru, one can never get spiritual knowledge. And when the Guru departs, one has to cry like how the queens cry for the king. So Rama Mishra was waiting for the child to be born, and then he gave this message, and the child's name is kept as Yamunaita Puraivan. All wonderful sanskaras were done for the child. Generally, all the sanskaras, it is like right from the Garbhadan sanskaras. It's so important, Garbhadan sanskara. Then afterward, the child is born. Nama sanskara, Annaprasha sanskara, Vidyarambha sanskaras, Upanayana sanskara. To such an extent, even for pricking the ears, that also sanskara is there. So many sanskaras are there, and these all sanskaras are very important because we have got such a human body, wonderful human body. Our body is meant to serve Krishna, and sanskaras teach us how to serve Krishna. We cannot ignore sanskaras. So in this way, all the sanskaras were given, and then the child was put in the school. This child used to do some bahana and always come out of the school. And everybody used to say, why you don't want to be in the school? So what same thing the teacher is teaching? I'm bored now. Because he used to say, if teacher starts something, he used to say something more advanced. Such a knowledgeable child. That the child was so bored in the school. He used to think, what, this teacher doesn't know anything. I know more than the teacher, then why I should go to the school? It was just an ordinary school. So he was like bored. He was thinking, I don't want to be in the school. I used to spend more time in the house reading scriptures. Then it so happened. Then he grew. Then his father, Ishwarman, he left the body. Before that, he got Ramanujacharaya married. Then after the father left, he had to have more higher studies. Now what higher studies? He knows everything, but still he was put, if you say colleges, like that he was put in a nice ashram, where his teacher was Mahabhashya Bhatta. Mahabhashya Bhatta. He used to teach, but more than he used to teach, this person only used to tell everything. So Mahabhashya Bhatta was very pleased with him. In that village, you can say, that village, one person is to always come and ask for some hafta. You know that hafta they ask. They say this much you should give. And who was that person? That person was a messenger from a very renowned scholar. His name was Akkiyatwan. What is this? This read? I'm not able to see. Read this. What is the spelling?
Akkiwan.
Arwan. Akki Arwan. Akki will call it Akki. His name was Akki. Akki Arwan. So his name was Akki. He was a very great scholar. Puffed up scholar. He kept all the schools under his control because he was a priest of the king. The king who used to rule many villages. Kings used to have many villages. And in every village, practically, there used to be schools. And this priest, head priest of this king, what he used to do, he used to keep all the schools under his control. And they should pay some tribute to them. That is known as hafta, tribute, just to accept him as a scholar. So one of the person came to Mahabhashya Bhatta and told, your monthly, you have to give, monthly tribute you have to pay. And this, then the reply was, we will not pay. Messenger went and told, except for Mahabhashya Bhatta's school, everybody has paid. Why he has not paid? Go again ask. So again he went, please give. The answer is, we are not going to give, get lost. Now this time they insulted and sent him back. It was too much. Then they told, if your renowned priest has that courage, tell him to debate with me. Now he doesn't know who is telling all these things. This messenger went and gave this. He said they are asking you to challenge them, or they want to challenge you. Now this Akki, he told all these things to the king. He said, see, they are going out of control. It is too much. I heard that there is a small boy, a young boy, you can say, young boy, is married now. At that time, they used to do child marriages. 12 years, 10 years, 11 years, they used to get married. A young boy is challenging. It is not Mahabhashya Bhatta. It is not his teacher. It is a student who is challenging. It is too much. It's a great insult for our established trend that we are going to take monthly tributes from them. It is too much. We have to call him, summon him. It's like summoning somebody means you arrogantly call him, come here, I have ordered you. So there was an order given to Ramanujacharaya. Person comes and tells, king has called you. He told, Ramanujacharaya told, tell your king, I am not going to come. It was too much now for the king also. But one thought process was there. The king is thinking, nobody has the courage to reject my order. This boy has. That means this boy is not an ordinary boy. Even I want to see who is so much courage to even reject my proposal. So to reject my order. I have called him, he has rejected. That means I should actually invite him with respect because I want to see him. So this time, king sent a palki and everything and told, please come. And a nice request letter was given. Ramanujacharaya told, yes, now this is right. Now I am going to come. So a wonderful treatment, young boy sitting in the palki and arriving in the kingdom. At that time, the queen sees from the balcony and says, Aravandaru. Aravandaru means one who has come to fulfill my desire. One who has come to actually uplift us. One who has come to remove us from the difficulty. This is Aravandar. One who has come to give us the spiritual strength. In this way, her vatsalya increased when she saw this young boy coming. When he came in the court, he got down from the palki, he was walking with majesty. This Akki is seeing, hey, what nonsense. This boy is thinking that he is having so much of scholarship. Then what this boy did was, he threw a paper at this Akki. Now it is too much for Akki. And this book is so small printed now, I'm not able to see. There's a nice verse, but the English translation goes like this. Hey, can you find any person other than me? Right from your Himalayas to Kanyakumari, right from the east to west where the sun rises and the sun sets, find a soul other than me. Now this was too much for Akki. He told, see, don't talk with pride. There's too much that you're showing pride. He has to be smashed, no? Like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his scholastic pastimes. What he used to do? He used to give a statement and he used to ask them to refute. When they used to refute, then correct statement they used to do, and he used to refute the correct statement. Sometimes such scholastic pastimes are necessary to thrash the pride of wrong people. So now here, Ramanujacharya showed such a wonderful pride. He threw the paper. First, he made it as a scrap and threw the paper. You know how to make a scrap and throw a kachra on someone? And he opened the kachra and he's seeing, can you find a soul other than me? Now, Akki was so angry. Akki told to all the courtesans who were all present, ministers and all, hey, this boy is too much. He thinks himself very smart. I'm going to smash his pride. Somehow the queen was just seeing all these things happening. She told to her husband, my inner consciousness say that this boy is going to win. Tell me one thing. If this boy wins, are you ready to give half of your kingdom to him? I am ready to accept me thrown as a dog in the street if this boy loses. I am ready to go in the streets. But if he wins, my half share, because any property, half property always belongs to the wife and half property belongs to the husband. So my 50% share will be going to this boy. You promised that. Now the king is also inspired to see now what is going to happen. This boy told to the king, now see the boldness of this boy. He told, see, you should not be our judge because you don't have knowledge. The boy is speaking to the king, you don't have the knowledge. You should not be. Because even if I win also, you don't know I'll win. Even if I lose also, you will not know. In any one of us loses or any one of us win, you don't know the subject at all. So we want a knowledgeable person who will be your umpire. Umpire means judge. So king was very happy to even listen this also. Sometimes somebody speaks boldly, na? It is nice to listen, nice to hear. So the king appointed a knowledgeable person. Now the condition is, any one of them will give a statement. Other person should negate that statement. Other person should negate that statement and prove the statement. Negate and prove it. If he is not able to negate it, the same person who has given an affirmative statement will negate the same and prove the same. If you see, it is the same Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, isn't it? Chaitanya Bhagavat also, we are reading the same. Prabhupada used to give, Mahaprabhu used to give one statement, other person should negate it. If he is not able to do, Mahaprabhu will negate the statement and prove even that negative statement to be true. So here, 3 statements. Before that Akki can give the statement, this young boy started giving 3 statements. He gave a 3 powerful statements. The first statement is, your mother is not barren. Huh? Your mother is not barren, is not childless. Then what he should prove? My mother is childless. How will he speak that? He is a child of mother, na? How will he speak that? So first statement is, your mother is not barren. Second statement, the king is sinless. Paramount, you can say, sinless. Now that means what Akki should say? The king is sinful. Then the queen is a chaste lady. Then what he should say? The queen is unchaste. Now even to speak all these negative statements, Akki had no strength. He was just silent. Silent like a dead person. He could not speak anything. Then the king told, why don't you only tell this? He said, yes, I am going to negate these statements and prove that all these statements are true. Even negative statements are true. This is all true, okay? Your mother is not barren. So what is the truth? What is the negation? Your mother is barren. Then he proved, any mother or father, parent, they have only one child. It is as good as barren. The Shastras speak. That is why it is recommended one should have 2 children. Anybody has one child is considered to be barren only, including myself also. But I have many children. I have many children in Krishna consciousness. I have Gautam, I have Balkrishna. So I am not barren. Isn't it? That is why you should love every child as one's own child. Then you are not barren. Or just one child is barren. Why? The child goes somewhere in America and sits, mother, father are alone. Nobody is there to take care of them. As good as barren. But you have a family of devotees, you are not barren. So, if the statement is true, Shastras speak, then the king is sinless. So, the negative statement is what? A king is sinful? Yes. Why? Because he has to take 50% of the sins of his citizens. So naturally, 50% of the sins of the citizens are deposited in the king. In this way, though he may not be committing sins, but he becomes sinful. Then, queen is a chaste woman. So the negative statement is, queen is unchaste. True? When you say a good wife or a chaste wife, that means she is protected by husband and she serves a husband. But it is Shastras say there are many protectors in our body. Many demigods protect us. Actually, whoever is protecting becomes our Natha. So how many husbands are there? So many husbands are there who are protecting us. We say husband, now this word is so dirty. Has ke band baja diya ye husband word. It is actually pati. Palana iti pati. So there are so many patis. And above everyone, there is Nathapati. Krishna is the pati for everyone. So just thinking that I have only one pati, no. There is a protector, ultimate pati, that is Krishna. So a wife is actually who knows this, that my ultimate husband is only Krishna. Then what happens? She is actually unchaste. Though outwardly she is chaste, but she is unchaste. The gopis of Vrindavan used to run to Krishna. Though they are married to their husbands, they used to run to Krishna. Why? Krishna is the real protector. So in this way, he proved all the negative statements to be true. The wife, this queen, was so happy. Alvandar, Alvandar, you have come to fulfill my words. You have come to fulfill my statement. Yes, I gave the statement. You are going to win. And you came to prove this statement. You have come to give spiritual knowledge to us. So you should stay in our palace. As promised, the king gave 50% of the kingdom. He gave a wonderful palace to Alabandar. Alabandar and his wife, they shifted to this palace. This way, everybody were very happy to get a wonderful king now. He is going to become, now he's a prince, but he's going to take up the leadership and become a wonderful king. Now Albandar, how he has to come in the spiritual life? Now what is this? He has left the school, he has gone to the king's palace, he is going to rule the kingdom. This was a big concern now for Ramamishra. As one of the words which his spiritual master Puntrikaksha Yukandar has given, that is to give the name Yamunakta, that happened. But to impart the secret knowledge, how is he going to do this? Because whatever task a spiritual master is given, that task we have to fulfill. If you don't fulfill, then what will happen? Because Nathamuni has got this wonderful knowledge from Nammalvar. From Nammalvar to Nathamuni, Nathamuni to Puntrikaksha, Puntrikaksha to Ramamishra. We are using these words because Yurkandar and Manakala Nambi, they are the words, but they are the names. But this will be very difficult to, even for me, it is very difficult. Therefore, you also it will be very difficult. I have at least eaten every time idlis. After eating idlis also, to chant South names are not so easy. For that, Perumal Kripa should be there. So Manakal Nambi, who is Ramamishra, he has got this knowledge. Now it is his duty to impart the knowledge. But how can he go to the palace and impart this knowledge? That was a big concern. Actually, spiritual knowledge is a treasure. It is a treasure. And when this treasure is there, then we don't have to fear. Srila Prabhupada took this treasure. What he had in his trunk, a small trunk which he took to the west, that is Bhagavatam. And this treasure actually converted so many people into happiness. So spiritual knowledge is a treasure, and this treasure is going to be given by Ramamishra to Alvandar. But how is he going to give? That we'll see next class. What all challenges he had, because it's not so easy to approach a king. When a person grows, has a nice position, it's not so easy to go to him. So Ramamishra was thinking, when am I going to give this knowledge? How am I going to go and meet Alvandar? So here we'll stop, and any questions you can ask regarding the classes which we had taken. I think this is the third class which we are taking. A small we are doing because at least we should remember what we are learning. In super fast speed, we cannot go, because in that speed, if we try to go, then it will be very confusing. So today's topic was how Puntrikaksha, he served Nath Munigal, how he has described the stale food also is so wonderful if given by the saintly people. He is described in such a wonderful way. And then how Nath Muni has imparted this task to Puntrikaksha, Puntrikaksha giving this knowledge to Ramamishra, who did all the menial tasks in his house. And Ramamishra now has been given this responsibility to give this name of Yamunakta Puraivan, and at the same time give this knowledge. Though he has given the name, but he is waiting for the opportunity to meet Ramanujacharaya. So how he meets, how he gives this knowledge, that we do the next class. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. So wonderful class, Mataji. माता जी, रामा मिश्र के साथ जो दो छोटे गर्ल थे, वो बड़े होके क्या बने, जिन्होंने उन्हें ब्रॉटअप किया?
हाँ हाँ, क्या 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 प्रश्न है?
दो छोटी बच्चियां थी जिन्होंने उन्हें ब्रॉटअप किया, वो बड़ी होके क्या बनी?
बड़े होके अपने अपने घरों में विवाह विवाह कर लिया, विवाह करके
अच्छा अच्छा, मुझे
लड़कियों को
लगा
तो
कि
विवाह
कुछ वो
करना
भी
होता है
कुछ।
ना।
अच्छा अच्छा।
बहुत ज्यादा आचार्यों के फैमिली में डिस्कस नहीं होता है, क्योंकि एट लास्ट उनको भी भक्ति है। जब एक संप्रदाय में जब बोलते आते हैं ना, तो ज्यादा एक ही के गहराई में नहीं जाते, लेकिन उनके लिए भी होगा, कुछ पुस्तकें होंगे उनके विषय में भी होगा। अभी एसेंस चल रहा है ना, एसेंस क्या है, कैसी इस नॉलेज को यामुनाचार्य को मिला, फिर यामुनाचार्य ने अपने 5 डिसिपल्स को किस तरह से यामुनाचार्य ने व्हाट इज दिस, व्हाट वाज द क्वेश्चन, तो किस तरह से रामानुजाचार्य को ये मिला, इस प्रकार से इस यमुना तत्ववान इज आल्सो, यस, ही इज ओनली आड़बंदार, he is the real man who has come to impart the knowledge. Yes, anyone else? No doubts? Okay. Hare Krishna.
थैंक यू माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare
थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, हरे दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, हरे कृष्ण।